Hey everyone, it's Nick with Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi at Fantasticon. I'm here with Tom, who is the keeper of the flame of all things Lost in Space, and he has some great stuff here at the show he's going to show us. Tom, what did you bring this time?
Well, we've got the entire flight deck here, and this is a reproduction of the Jupiter 2 flight deck. And of course, we have the B-205s, and this is exactly how it looked on Lost in Space in the Jupiter 2. Now, this is a traveling display that we have. I actually have a full display down in my basement, and which has been featured on MeTV's Collector's Call with Lisa Welchel.
Who builds this stuff?
Well, I actually have a builder that has done some of this for my basement, and then he also made these cabinets so we could do a traveling display. The electronics were done by a electrician from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base who's retired and did cockpit simulators and lived down the street from me. So when my builder said, "Hey, let's build a Jupiter 2 in your basement," I said, "How am I going to do this stuff?" He goes, "I've got the guy. He's your neighbor. He's down the street. This is going to be child's play for him," and it was.
Wow, no kidding.
The original set used incandescent lights for most of the illumination. This is a lot of what he did was to use LEDs. These are all LED lights, so there's no heat. The original set was very hot. It was working the extreme working conditions. They would have to, when they would film, they would turn the air conditioning off, and as soon as they were done filming a scene, they would turn the air conditioning on and the fans on. It was
okay. That's interesting.
That's how they did it during the '60s.
Okay,
it changed.
How did you get started, and what was your first thing you did to start this whole thing rolling?
Well, I got started probably in 2015. There was a convention in New Jersey called Chiller. And the cast members of Lost in Space were there. Also the cast of Batman. I took my daughter with me, and I just said, "This is probably going to be the last time I'm going to be able to see the cast." Yeah. And so we went, and believe it or not, there were 2 robots that were there in the room with the cast members. And so I went up to the guys and I go, "Where did you get these? How did you build them?" And they said, "There's a B9 Robot Builders Club."
Right.
So within 2 weeks, I joined the Robot Builders Club. About a month after that, there was a robot that had been left in a storage locker in Rosamond, California. And I heard about it, saw some pictures of it. I called them. I said they were going to have an auction. I said, "You don't need to do it." I made them an offer, and it was a pretty decent offer. I got a good deal on it.
Okay.
And they sent it to me. And then when we were getting ready to build the basement, I said to my builder, I said, "Can we build an elevator to, like on the Jupiter 2 to put the robot on?" And that's how this got started. He said, "Let's just do the Jupiter 2."
Wow. Okay. Well, it's good to know because I might want to do that one day.
But on the B9 Robot Builders website, there's a lot of instructions and there's a lot of builders on there that you can contact. They have parts and they can tell you how to do things.
Okay.
It's almost like a gigantic model kit.
Okay.
And each robot that you build has its own personality. And so the person that built it is kind of their personality's built into it. My robot at home has its own personality, a little different than this one, but still looks like it's the same one on the show.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Now, how did you become a Lost in Space fan?
Oh, I was there the first night. When I was in 3rd grade, that Wednesday night in September at 7:30, I was there watching this. Of course, we didn't have a colored television set, and that first season was not in color.
Right.
So I watched it. I was mesmerized. We went to school the next day and started playing Lost in Space at recess, and it's just one thing led to another. And then a few years later, my dad was in the 5 and 10 business. We had a store, and they got in Remco robots, and so that Christmas, he said, "Go pick out, what you want for Christmas." So I went through every box and picked until I found the color that I wanted. And I still have that robot. It's in mint condition. The box is in mint condition. So, and that was also featured.
You're in mint condition too. I can't believe you were around when it first aired.
This is a belt, and the original was used on the episode "The Galaxy" gift with John Carradine. And years later, this was recreated. They did an episode of Lost in Space. And what they did, it was called Lost in Space Forever, and John Larroquette was in that episode. And they had this belt, he held it, pressed the button here, and they were transported back to the Jupiter 2 with Will Robinson and Dr. Smith and the robot. So this was right from that episode. So I try to find something at auction each year that I can add to the collection, so anybody that's coming and they see a little something that's different. Yeah.
Well, Tom, thanks again, and thanks for
pleasure.
great to meet a fellow Lost in Space fanatic, and we appreciate you talking to
Hey,
us.
well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it.